This video will show you how to use the analysis toolpack to perform basic descriptive statistics. So to start with, we're going to create another new variable, and the variable we're going to create is the number of days between when a property was infected and when it was reported. So I'm going to insert a new column here in front of row K, and I'm going to call it the number of days from infection to detection. Now, the number of days from infection to detection is the number of days between the infection date and the date of reporting. So I'll enter the formula that will calculate that date for us. And again, it's come up with a date value because the column to the left was a date, and that's what Excel defaults to for the formatting of the new column you've created. So a number with no decimal places. By double-clicking the box on the lower right-hand corner of that cell, I can copy that data down to the rest of the column. Now, if I have a look at what data I've created, I can see that there's a few negative values, mostly positive values. That makes sense, and then some that are giving me an error. And if we have a look at those values that are throwing an error, we can see the reason is because we don't have an infection date for those properties. So we can overcome this, clearing the filter and going back to the top of the data, by using a conditional formula to tell Excel that if there's no infection date recorded, make it a blank cell. The way that we do that is by using an if command, bracket, and it comes up with what it wants you to put inside that bracket for the function that you've called. So by calling if, it wants to know what test it should perform. So we say if G3 is blank, then give me a blank. If G3 is not a blank, then give me this formula that I want. Close the bracket at the end and press enter. And now it's giving us a value of 3, like it was before, because we've satisfied that G3 is not blank, and therefore it's going to perform this calculation. If we then copy this new formula into all of the cells in that column, you can see that's copied down the cells, we can then have a look and see that instead of returning values that have an error, it's returning these blank values instead. It's nice not to have errors in your worksheet, particularly if you're going to be sharing it with other people. So what we want to do now is do some basic descriptive statistics on this new variable that we've created. So what we want to do is to copy it into a new sheet so that we've just got the values and it's not reading it as a formula. Now, we don't want to bring our blank values with us, so we're just going to filter those out, deselecting the blanks, pressing OK, and then we go to the first value, Shift End down, that selects them all, Control C to copy them, create a new sheet by pressing the button here. You can see it says Insert Worksheet, and then right click, and we're going to paste the values so that it's not going to bring the formulas with us. It's just going to give us the absolute values that it's returned for each of those rows. So now to do our descriptive statistics, we come up to our Data tab on the ribbon, and we use our Data Analysis button, and we want the descriptive statistics. So OK. It wants to know what your input range is. If you want to select the data yourself in the sheet, you can press this button, and that will let you select what data you want. We can select the first one, Shift End down. We'll select all of the data, none of the blank rows, and then once you're happy you've selected what you want, press this button again, and that will put the right values into the input range, and you can see it's using absolute cell referencing. For the output, you can either put it into a cell on the same sheet, you can put it onto a new worksheet, and that'll make you a fresh sheet down here with the name that you specify, or a new workbook that'll open a new Excel document. So in this case, we'll just use an output range and we'll put it into C1. You've got a few options to choose what sort of descriptive statistics you'd like to do. We're going to use summary statistics for this. Based on that data that you had in the input column, it has returned the descriptive statistics of those values. So that's how you do descriptive statistics.